We're on Sukkah Perek Bet Mishnah Zayin, 7th Mishnah in the 2nd chapter of Sukkah. So now we know that the Sukkah has a minimum size, okay? But let's say you have a very tiny Sukkah and it's of the minimum size, it's kosher, but there's another problem. That's the discussion of our Mishnah. Mishaya Rosho Virubo B'Sukkah. Let's say his head and the majority of his body are in the Sukkah, meaning it's a minimum size. I think it's 6 by 6 tfachim, the Gemara says, in the Sukkah. It's a minimum size. V'shulchano b'toch habayit. But his shulchan, his table is in the house. So he built the Sukkah at the door of the back of his house, but it's a tiny area. You have sometimes people in Israel, they have apartments and they have a pergola, okay? But in such a way that the pergola, the balcony, only has available for the Sukkah like a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. So he has to sit at the edge of the balcony, right? And his table that he's sitting at is inside the house technically. It's not in the Sukkah itself. Is that okay? Beit Shammai poslin, uBeit Hillel machshavim. Beit Shammai says no good. That's pasul, and Beit Hillel says no, that's okay. What's the concern? The concern is it doesn't matter how big your Sukkah is. Okay, bein b'Sukkah ktana hakol asur. Beit Shammai says gzeira shema yimshach achar shulchano. This is a decree. Beit Shammai says, I'm afraid if your table is in the house, you're going to lean in. You're going to be in the house itself, and that's not going to be good. That'll be pasul because you're not sitting in the Sukkah. Here's an illustration, thanks to the Vishinanta. You can see, even if it's a big Sukkah, nonetheless, if his table is in the house, that's a case of Rosho V'rubo b'toch HaSukkah v'shulchano b'toch habayit. He's going to be led in for whatever, and it's even an interesting question. What happens if he's sitting here and the shulchan is in the house? Or does it have to be Davka Shulchano? I think this is the case. I think if he was sitting here, he'd be okay, because he wouldn't be Nimshach Achrei HaSukkah. The reason why this is so important is because this is one of those few cases where halacha k'Beit Shammai. This is one of the very, very few cases where we pass on like Beit Shammai. So if you have a case like this with a person, the way I described it, where he has the size of this. Am I recording? Yes, I'm sorry. The size of the Sukkah is good. And I've heard of cases like this where literally the Mirpeset Sukkah, remember the Mirpeset goes out to here, but there's another apartment above here, and he has to sit right here, and his table is inside. That's a real halachic reality, at least here in Israel. Let's go on in the Mishnah. The Mishnah says, Amru lehem Beit Hillel leBeit Shammai. I'm sorry. Amru lehem Beit Hillel leBeit Shammai. Lo kach hayu haya ma'aseh. Didn't we go visit Rabbi Yochanan ben Chorani, the elders? And the shulchan is in the bayit, okay? And his table is in the house. And he didn't say anything, meaning the Beit Hillel says, hey, we went to visit Rabbi Yochanan ben Chorani. We went to visit him. He was sitting in the exact situation. His table was in the house. Nobody said anything. Even the Beit Shammai elders didn't say anything. The Beit Shammai says, no, it's not a proof. They did say, you weren't there, you went to the bathroom. If that's the way you practice Sukkah, you never fulfilled the mitzvah of Sukkah. So don't give me this proof. You have a mitzvah that Beit Hillel that you went and he did it, nobody said anything. We said something, your guys weren't listening, and that's why you didn't put it as part of the story. We'll stop here. It's interesting. It's a very interesting commentary about the notion of stories, what people remember and what they pass down. Beit Hillel had a story about the story to prove their point, and Beit Shammai had a story of the story to prove their point, which means that the bubbles that we live in of hearing the stories of our position, it's not something new. It's something that happened many, many, many hundreds of years ago. We'll stop here and dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, of Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a good day.